The UK has voted out.
Nothing has changed.
You must stay at home.
Can we afford these tax cuts, Chancellor?
It has been a huge honour to be Prime Minister.
And we will have a general election on the 4th of July.
And the exit poll is predicting a hung parliament.
Mr Clegg appears to be in the role of kingmaker here.
Both our parties have given their full backing to our coalition agreement.
Referendum day, think of how you're going to vote, great serious thought, important.
In a referendum with no real substantive issue at stake, where all four main parties were in the same camp and versus a giant inflatable pig, the yes vote was never really in doubt.
Britain has definitely voted no to a change in the voting system. First past the post will remain.
Ian Cameron, on charitable giving.
Good evening, you're watching Sky News, and tonight the world is watching London as the 2012 Games get underway.
The ayes to the right, 400. The noes to the left, 175.
A momentous vote, the Commons overwhelmingly in favour of gay marriage.
And I think it's right that gay people should be able to get married too.
First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they attack you, and then you win.
Party time for Nigel Farage as UKIP tops the European vote and says he'll take the fight into the general election.
At 4:54, Sky News can call this referendum as no to independence. Scotland has rejected independence and will remain part of the United Kingdom.
I've just had an audience with Her Majesty the Queen following the dissolution of Parliament. The general election will be held on May the 7th.
It is 10 o'clock, the polls have closed, the general election is over, and our exit poll is predicting that the Conservatives are the largest party.
A big majority here for Brexit.
I will be advocating vote leave.
I think the people in this country have had enough of experts.
And Sky News is projecting that the UK has voted out.
I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction.
I have just been to Buckingham Palace, where Her Majesty the Queen has asked me to form a new government, and I accepted. Brexit means Brexit. Brexit means Brexit. I'm very clear Brexit does mean Brexit.
The Downing Street lectern is only deployed at moments of great constitutional or military importance.
I have just chaired a meeting of the Cabinet where we agreed that the government should call a general election to be held on the 8th of June. Strong and stable, 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 strong and stable leadership.
And we start with breaking news that there will be a hung parliament with the Conservatives losing their majority.
Are you going to resign, Prime Minister?
While our opponents flirt with a foreign policy of neutrality.
Good morning, Miss Mordaunt. Are you going to resign over Brexit? Who would make a better leader than Mrs.
You've got Boris Johnson and David Davis, and you've got Dominic Raab and Esther McVeigh, you've got Penny Mordaunt. You have streams of talent within the Conservative Party who would be very capable of leading a proper Brexit.
The noes have it, the noes have it, the noes have it.
Change of leadership at this point isn't going to make the negotiations any easier, and it's not going to change the parliamentary arithmetic.
It's been a difficult night so far for the two mainstream parties as voters reach out for alternatives.
I will shortly leave the job that it has been the honour of my life to hold. I do so with no ill will, but with enormous and enduring gratitude to have had the opportunity to serve the country I love.
Are you responsible for whipping up an atmosphere of danger for MPs with a rhetoric that you and the Prime Minister are responsible for?
Worse than any I've known.
Boris Johnson remained unrepentant for the language, like labelling opposition legislation which attempts to stop a no-deal Brexit a surrender bill and talking about capitulation.
We are left with no choice but to go to the country to break free from this impasse and to allow us all to submit as we must in all humility to the judgment of the electorate.
It's 10 o'clock, the Brexit election is over, and it looks like this.
You must stay at home. We must, I'm afraid, look again at Christmas. And as Prime Minister, it's my duty to take difficult decisions, to do what is right to protect the people of this country.
They are restrictions we have all got used to, but after 16 long months, in England, they are legally no more. Social distancing can be distanced. Masks are now optional, but still required in some places. Lockdown, technically speaking, is unlocked.
Thank you. Hello. Hi, Boris. President, not here. Lovely to see you. How are you? Handshake. Let's do it next time.
Is it all over, Prime Minister?
This is now a Prime Minister who cannot command his cabinet, cannot command his government, cannot command his party, and cannot lead this country.
It is clearly now the will of the Parliamentary Conservative Party that there should be a new leader of that party and therefore a new Prime Minister.
Liz Truss is elected as the leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party. Liz, come up on stage.
We are all devastated by the news that we have just heard from Balmoral. The death of Her Majesty the Queen is a huge shock to the nation and to the world.
We need a new approach for a new era, focused on growth. She's got a lot of experience.
Kwasi should Liz Truss resign?
Firstly, we will reverse almost all the tax measures announced in the growth plan 3 weeks ago.
It has been a huge honour to be Prime Minister of this great country. Our country continues to battle through a storm. But I believe in Britain. I believe in the British people. And I know that brighter days lie ahead. Thank you.
I've just been to Buckingham Palace and accepted His Majesty the King's invitation to form a government in his name. And I've made 5 promises today to deliver peace of mind. We will halve inflation, grow the economy, reduce debt, cut waiting times, and stop the boats.
Dominic Raab now out of government.
Are you confident you're going to clear your name?
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean we could never Suella's been sacked, I'm just hearing.
For the second time, Suella Braverman has lost her job as Home Secretary.
Nobody's ever done that before.
It is all, we think it is unprecedented.
That's the security detail just opening the door for...
David Cameron? What? I was not expecting that.
Can you Rwanda plan be safe, Prime Minister? Are you ready for a rebellion from your own MPs?
The question is that motion A be agreed to. As many as are of that opinion will say content. Contrary not content. The contents have it.
And we will have a general election on the 4th of July. This election will take place at a time when the world is more dangerous than it has been since the end of the Cold War.
Oh my God.